I thought I was just embracing my new life. Turns out, I was setting fire to my old one. And now I'm sitting in the silence of this big, empty house, wondering if I just destroyed the only man who ever truly saw me. My name is Chloe. I'm 32 years old. And if I'm being brutally honest with myself, which is a new and uncomfortable habit, I never thought a single argument could unravel everything. It started with something so trivial, it's almost insulting. You see, for the last 6 months, I've been the director of Callaway Modern, one of the most prestigious art galleries in downtown Chicago. It's not just a job, it's an identity. It's late-night galas with champagne flutes that never seem to empty. It's conversations about brushstrokes and existentialism. And for the first time in my life, I was making more money than my husband, Daniel. Not just a little more. A lot more. I'm talking walking into a designer boutique and not looking at the price tag more. I'm talking ordering the $30 cocktail without a second thought more. I earned this. I bled for this. Years of fetching coffee as an unpaid intern. Years of networking with people who looked right through me. Years of a master's degree that put us into debt. My debt. So yeah, I felt like I deserved it. Call it main character energy, I don't care. I had finally arrived. Daniel wasn't on the same page. He's 35, a high school history teacher and the head basketball coach. He's steady, reliable. He smells like chalk dust and old books. For years, his modest salary was our foundation. He never once complained. The first crack in our foundation appeared over a dress. It wasn't just a dress, it was a statement. $1,000 silk charmeuse slip dress in a shade of emerald green that made my eyes look like jewels. I saw it in the window of a boutique on Oak Street. I didn't need it. I just wanted it. I wanted to feel the way the mannequin looked, untouchable. When I brought it home, shimmering in its heavy garment bag, I expected Daniel to see me, the new me. Maybe a low whistle, a wow, Chloe, or even, "You deserve it, babe." Instead, he was sitting at the kitchen table, grading papers, a stack of bills next to his elbow. He looked up, his glasses perched on his nose, and his eyes landed on the bag. "What's that?" "Just something for the gallery fundraiser next week," I said, trying to sound casual as I hung it on the closet door. He didn't move. He just kept looking. Then he hit me with the question, the one that felt like a tiny, sharp needle pricking my perfect balloon. "How much was it?" I hate that question. It feels like an accusation. Like I'm a child who has to account for her allowance. My back stiffened. "Don't worry about it," I said, my voice a little too sharp. "I paid for it. With my money." I saw the shift. It was subtle. A tightening around his jaw. The way his eyes lost their warmth. He put his red pen down, very deliberately. "Your money," he repeated. Not as a question, but as a statement. I thought it was our money. He gestured to the pile of bills on the table. "You do realize I'm still the one making sure the mortgage gets paid on time, right? That the lights stay on?" And that's when I let the monster out. Instead of apologizing, instead of explaining, I said something cruel. Something I thought was clever in the moment, but now it just echoes in my head like a death sentence. I looked him straight in the eye, a little smirk on my face. "Well, maybe if you made more money, I wouldn't have to spend mine on things like this." I said that. To him, to the man who coached Summer League for extra cash so we could afford a vacation. To the man who tutored kids after school while I was in grad school, chasing a dream he never fully understood but always supported. I didn't just say it. I said it with a little dismissive shrug, like it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. The look on his face, it was worse than anger. It was recognition. Like he was seeing who I had become for the first time. He didn't yell. That would have been easier. He just stared at me for a long moment, his face a perfect, unreadable mask. Then he nodded, slow and deliberate. "Okay, Chloe, I see." He stood up, gathered his papers, and walked into his study, closing the door behind him. Not a slam, just a soft, final click. And I'm ashamed to admit it, but my first feeling wasn't guilt. It was rage. "Oh, so now you're going to give me the silent treatment? Be a man." I sat on the couch, arms crossed, expecting him to come back out and fight. He didn't. That night, I scrolled through Instagram until my eyes burned, and fell asleep alone in our king-size bed. The emerald dress hung on the closet door, mocking me. The next morning, Daniel was already gone. Not unusual. He had early morning practice. But the kitchen felt different, colder. There was a sticky note on the granite countertop. Not the fridge. The counter. Right where he knew I'd see it. Taking $200 from savings for the car insurance. Since I'm the only one still contributing to that account. Just thought I'd let you know. Petty. So incredibly petty. I crumpled it up and threw it in the trash, but the words stung. He was right. I hadn't moved a dime into our joint savings since my new job started. I'd opened my own private account. For my money, the week that followed was a masterclass in passive aggression. If I ordered takeout from that new Thai place I loved, he'd ask, "Did you use your money for that? Or our money?" When we were grocery shopping, I reached for the organic, artisanal bread. He silently put it back and grabbed the store brand. "It's only a $3 difference, Dan," I said, exasperated. "Well, since you're rich now," he said, not even looking at me, "maybe you should cover it." It was infuriating. It was exhausting. He was making me feel guilty for my success. That's how I saw it then. That's how I framed it in my head. He couldn't handle that I was finally shining. That Friday, I had a lunch meeting with Leo Vance. Leo was our gallery's new star, an abstract painter with wild, dark hair, paint perpetually under his fingernails, and eyes that saw the world in a way I found intoxicating. He was everything Daniel wasn't. Impulsive, passionate. He lived in a sprawling, chaotic loft in the West Loop, while Daniel alphabetized our spice rack. "You seem distracted today, Chloe," Leo said, leaning across the small bistro table, his hand brushing mine. His touch was electric. "Just husband stuff," I sighed, swirling the wine in my glass. "Ah," he said, with a knowing smile. "The anchor that is meant to keep you steady, but sometimes just holds you down." I froze. "What?" "An artist's observation," he said smoothly. "You have this incredible fire in you, this ambition. Don't ever let anyone try to put that out." F-digger. His words were like a balm on a wound I didn't even know was festering. He saw me, the new me, the successful, powerful director. Daniel just saw the woman who was spending too much money. The text started that afternoon. "Leo, still thinking about our conversation. You're a force of nature." Me. "You're just saying that because you want a primetime spot in the fall exhibition." Leo. "I can want two things at once." It was thrilling. It was dangerous. It was a secret world that belonged only to me. That night, the quiet in our house was unbearable. Daniel and I were sitting in the living room, the television on but neither of us watching. He was staring at the wall. I was staring at my phone, a stupid smile on my face from a text Leo had just sent. Daniel finally broke the silence. He didn't look at me. He just spoke to the television. "Do you think I'm holding you back, Chloe?" My heart stopped. It was like Leo's words were echoing through Daniel's mouth. I felt a flush of guilt, followed by a surge of defiance. Why should I feel guilty? Daniel was the one being cold and distant. I shrugged, affecting an air of indifference. "I didn't say that." "But you think it." And then I said it. The second nail in our coffin. "Maybe you are. A little." I didn't even think about it. The words just slipped out, sharp and venomous. He didn't react. No smart remark. No jab. Nothing. Just a profound, heavy silence that filled every corner of the room. He absorbed the blow, and it seemed to break something inside him. Later that night, I saw him packing an overnight bag. "Going to your brother's?" I asked, trying to sound like I didn't care. He'd done it before during bad fights. But then I saw him grab his work laptop, his beat-up leather briefcase with the lesson plans inside. My stomach clenched. "Where are you going?" He finally looked at me. His eyes were hollowed out, exhausted. "Somewhere I don't have to feel like I'm holding you back." And then he walked out the door. I waited. I didn't call. My pride wouldn't let me. "He'll be back," I told myself. "He always comes back." But this time, I had a secret. This time, as the loneliness of the house closed in on me, my first instinct wasn't to call him. It was to text Leo. "Me? You up?" "Leo, always for you. My door is open." And like a fool, I walked right through it. For the first 2 days, I lived in a state of defiant delusion. I blasted "I Will Survive" playlists. I ordered expensive sushi. I told my best friend, Jessica, that Daniel was just being dramatic. "Are you sure you're not the one being a little reckless, Chloe?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. "He needs to learn he can't control me," I snapped back. Meanwhile, I was at Leo's loft. It was an escape, His world was all vibrant colors, the smell of turpentine and passionate, chaotic energy. With him, I wasn't a wife in a fractured marriage. I was a muse, a patron, a goddess. It felt good. It felt easy. We drank expensive whiskey, talked until dawn, and fell into his unmade bed. I told myself it was just physical, a temporary balm for a temporary problem. By day 3, the delusion started to crack. I checked Daniel's location on Find My iPhone. Location not available. He'd turned it off. That's not a message you send when you're planning to come home. Panic, cold and sharp, began to prick at the edges of my bravado. On day 4, I called his brother, Mark. Hey Mark, have you seen Daniel? There was a long pause. He's good, Chloe. What does that mean? My voice was tight. It means he's good, Mark said, his tone firm, protective. He'll call you when he's ready. He knew something. I could hear it. By day 5, I wasn't eating. The sushi from 2 nights ago sat like a rock in my stomach. The thrill of Leo's touch was starting to feel cheap. Every time the front door creaked, my head would snap up, hoping. But it was always just the house settling. Then day 6 hit me like a physical blow. I woke up alone in my bed to an email notification from our joint bank account. I sat up, rubbing the sleep from my eyes, and tapped open the message. Account transfer complete. $8,500 transferred to new account ending in 4,117. My heart plummeted. I scrambled to open the banking app. The balance in our savings account, the one Daniel had so diligently contributed to for years, the one meant for a new roof, for emergencies, it now contained $412.06. He left me with $400. That's when it stopped feeling like a break. It felt like an amputation. This wasn't him being dramatic. This was him severing a limb. Our limb. My pride evaporated. I called him, straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. My hands were shaking. Oh, so now you're ignoring me? After everything? I put on my shoes, grabbed my keys, and drove. I wasn't thinking straight. I was just a raw nerve of fury and fear. I drove straight to his sister Sarah's house in the suburbs. I didn't call. I didn't text. I pulled up to her quiet, respectable colonial like a storm front. His beat-up Honda was in the driveway. I didn't knock. I leaned on the doorbell, letting it ring again and again and again. Sarah opened the door, a dish towel in her hand, her face a mixture of sleepiness and annoyance. What do you want, Chloe? Don't what do you want me, Sarah? Is he here? I tried to peer past her into the house. She stepped into the doorway, blocking my view. Her expression was cold. He doesn't want to see you right now. I let out a harsh, disbelieving laugh. You can't be serious. You're just going to hide him in there like he's a teenager? Tell your brother to come outside. My voice was rising, shrill, and ugly. I'm not doing that, Chloe. Her eyes were steady. She wasn't intimidated. You both need space. Space? He drained our savings account and you think I need to give him space? I'm walking in there. Her face turned to ice. You set one foot inside my house, and we'll see how that works out for you. The door shut in my face. I just stood there, on the welcome mat that said home, sweet home, livid, humiliated. This is what it felt like, to be on the outside of my own marriage. I could feel tears burning behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not on her porch. I got back in my car, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white. I didn't drive away. I just sat there, watching the house, like a stalker. He didn't come out. Instead, my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. Go home, Chloe. You need to chill. He told me everything. Everything? What did everything mean? The fight? The money? Or everything else? That night, sleep was impossible. I sat in bed, replaying every ugly comment, every dismissive gesture. Then I did something stupid. I opened Facebook, and there it was. A picture posted by Daniel's cousin, a group of them at a local pub. And there he was, Daniel. A beer in his hand, a small, genuine smile on his face. He looked peaceful. My chest tightened. He was fine. He was out there smiling while my world was falling apart. Just as I was about to throw my phone across the room, it buzzed with a text. From him, my heart leaped. Daniel. I'll be by on Saturday to get the rest of my things. I'll text before I come. The rest of his things. The words hung there in the airless room. This wasn't a fight anymore. This was a conclusion. I typed back frantically. Me? You're really doing this? Over a fight? The little blue read receipt popped up immediately, but there was no reply. Saturday morning arrived with a sense of dread that felt like a physical weight on my chest. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sit still. I kept telling myself he was bluffing, that this was all a grand, dramatic gesture to scare me, but I knew it wasn't. Around 2 p.m., I heard it, the sound I used to love, the sound of his key in the lock. Now, it sounded like a judge's gavel. I stood in the hallway, trying to look casual, trying to pretend my heart wasn't trying to beat its way out of my ribcage. He walked in. He didn't look at me. He looked right past me, his face set like stone. He was wearing gray sweatpants and a hoodie from his old college team. He looked tired and done. So you're really doing this, I said. My voice trembled. I hated it. He didn't answer. He just walked toward our bedroom. Our bedroom. You're not even going to talk to me now? I followed him, my voice getting louder. You're just going to pack up your life like I'm some stranger you rented a room from? What do you want me to say, Chloe? He muttered. He pulled a duffel bag from the top of the closet and started sliding hangers off the rod. The metallic scrape was the only sound in the room. How about you say you're overreacting? I shot back. This is insane, Daniel. All of this, because of one stupid argument. End of our sex. He stopped. He actually stopped packing. He tilted his head, a short, dry, humorless laugh escaping his lips. Then he turned to face me. One argument, he said, his voice dangerously quiet. You really believe that? You're really that clueless? Clueless? I stepped closer, my own anger flaring up to mask the terror. I'm not clueless. I'm just not going to beg you to stay over something so stupid. And, stupid, he repeated. And this time his voice rose, filled with a pain so raw it stunned me into silence. It's not stupid when I'm the one lying awake at night trying to figure out how we're going to pay for a new furnace while you're out buying $1,000 dresses. It's not stupid when you look at me like I'm some kind of failure because I'm a teacher and not a goddamn hedge fund manager. Oh, so you're mad because I'm finally successful? I scoffed, folding my arms. Because I buy things for myself? I work, Daniel. I'm not just going to sit around pinching pennies like you. And look where that got you, he snapped back, his eyes blazing. Look where it got us. He shook his head and went back to pulling shirts from their hangers, his movements jerky and angry. I stood there, his words ringing in my ears. He was right, but my pride, that stubborn, ugly monster inside me, wouldn't let me admit it. Fine, I said, my voice rising to a shout. Leave. You think you're so perfect? Go be Mr. Responsible somewhere else. He zipped up the duffel bag and slung it over his shoulder. He walked past me, his arm brushing mine, and for a second, I thought he would just leave. But he stopped at the bedroom door. He turned back, and his expression had changed. The anger was gone, replaced by a deep, weary sadness. Do you think I'm stupid, Chloe? The question was so out of place, it threw me. What are you talking about? He took a step closer. I asked you a question. Do you think I'm a stupid man? No, I said, confused. Of course not. Then why would you treat me like I am? He reached into the pocket of his hoodie and pulled out his phone. He unlocked it, tapped the screen a few times, and then held it out for me to see. It was a screenshot of my text messages with Leo. Leo, my door is open. Me. On my way. I need to forget. The world tilted on its axis. My breath caught in my throat. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. All the air had been sucked out of the room. Your laptop was open, he said, his voice flat, devoid of all emotion. The iMessage app. You were so eager to run to him, you didn't even think to close it. I saw it all, Chloe. The texts. The lunch that wasn't just lunch. All of it. He put his phone back in his pocket. So you see, he continued, his voice cracking just once. This isn't about a dress. It's not about the money. It's not even about you thinking I'm holding you back. He looked me dead in the eye, and what I saw there shattered me. It was pity. It's about the fact that you didn't just outgrow me. You replaced me, and you didn't even have the decency to tell me. I opened my mouth to say something. An excuse. A lie. Anything. But nothing came out. There was nothing left to say. He knew. He knew everything. The truth hit me like a physical force, knocking the pride right out of my body. It wasn't a cool-off. It wasn't a dramatic gesture. This was real. This was the end. And as he turned and walked toward the front door, something inside me broke. My mind went blank. All the clever retorts, all the self-righteous anger, it all dissolved into pure, primal panic. Wait, I whispered. He didn't stop. Daniel, wait. I ran after him, my voice raw. I grabbed his arm, my fingers digging into the soft fabric of his hoodie. For the first time in what felt like a lifetime, I wasn't trying to win. I was trying not to lose. He stopped, but he didn't turn around. I could see the tension in his shoulders. Please, I choked out, the tears finally coming, hot and shameful. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm so sorry. He was silent. I didn't mean for it to happen. I sobbed, my forehead pressed against his back. I was mad, and I was stupid. You know how I get. It didn't mean anything, Daniel. He meant nothing. I was babbling, the words tumbling out in a desperate, pathetic stream. I was a beggar, pleading for a scrap of the life I had so carelessly thrown away. He finally turned around, slowly. His face was a wreck of pain and exhaustion. For a split second, I saw a flicker of the man I married in his eyes. A flicker of doubt. I thought I had him. I clung to his arm tighter. Please don't do this, I whispered, my voice breaking. We can fix this. I can fix this. I'll end it. I'll never speak to him again. Please, Dan. He looked down at my hands on his arm. Then he looked back at my face. He sighed. It wasn't an angry sigh. It was the sigh of a man who has already surrendered. The final exhalation before the end. The worst part, Chloe, he said, his voice soft, which was somehow more painful than if he had screamed. The worst part isn't that you did it. He gently took my hands off his arm. His touch was clinical, final. It's that you really thought I was too stupid to notice. It's that you looked me in the eye, day after day, and lied. The dress, the money, that was just you trying to pick a fight, to justify the fact that you were already gone. No, I cried. That's not true. Isn't it? He asked, a genuine heartbreaking question in his eyes. History don't pay the bills, you said. Turns out, it doesn't fix this either. He opened the front door. The cool afternoon air rushed in. We have too much history, Daniel, I pleaded, one last desperate attempt. Yeah, he said, looking at me one last time, his eyes empty of everything but a profound sense of loss. We do. Then he walked out. He didn't slam the door. He pulled it shut behind him, and the soft click echoed through the house, through my life, a sound of absolute finality. I stood there, my hands still outstretched, grasping at the empty space where he had been. The tears were streaming down my face, but I barely noticed. It felt like my entire world, the one I thought I was building so beautifully, had just been leveled to the ground. I stumbled to the couch and collapsed. I picked up my phone, my fingers trembling. I called him. No answer. I called again. Nothing. I texted. Me. Please come back. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I love you. I stared at the screen. My vision blurred. The message delivered. The little blue receipt popped up. Read 2:47 p.m. No reply. There would be no reply. It's one thing to say you're sorry. It's another thing entirely when the person you're saying it to no longer cares to hear it. It has been a month. 31 days of silence. 31 days of me waking up in an empty bed, the indentation where he used to sleep, now permanently gone. The first week was a blur of frantic hope and crushing reality. Every buzz of my phone sent a jolt of adrenaline through me, only for it to be an email from the gallery. A notification from Instagram. A text from Jessica asking if I was okay. Never from him. His sister, Sarah, sent me one final text on the 5th day. He's staying with me for now. He's hired a lawyer. The papers will be sent to the house. He asked me to ask you not to contact him again. Done. Just like that. A marriage of 8 years, a relationship of 10, ended by a text message from his sister. The worst part? I couldn't even blame him. I replayed that final conversation 1,000 times. He was right, about everything. I had been picking fights, creating distance, laying the groundwork for my own betrayal so that when it happened, I could tell myself he drove me to it. The successful, powerful woman I thought I'd become was just a selfish, cruel coward. I saw Leo once after Daniel left. He showed up at the gallery with coffee, a hopeful smile on his face. So, I hear the anchor has been lifted, he said, trying to be charming. I looked at him, at his paint-stained hands and his self-satisfied smirk, and all I felt was revulsion. The thrill was gone. The intoxicating passion now just seemed pathetic. He wasn't a soulmate, he was an escape hatch. An easy, flattering exit from a reality I was too immature to face. Get out, I said, my voice cold. What? Chloe. I thought, get out. He left, confused and wounded, and I locked the door to my office and finally broke down. I wasn't crying for Daniel anymore. I was crying for myself, for the person I used to be, and the monster I had become. My life is now a series of perfect, empty spaces. My house is immaculate, because there's no one here to leave a coffee mug on the counter or drop a pair of sneakers by the door. My career is soaring. We just landed a major collection, and my name was in a feature in Art Monthly. I have the emerald green dress, hanging in my closet, unworn. I have the designer bags. I have my money in my account. I have everything I thought I wanted. And I have never been more alone. Sometimes, late at night, I walk through the gallery after everyone has gone home. The paintings on the walls are vibrant and loud, but the silence in the cavernous rooms is what I hear the most. It's the same silence that greets me when I get home. I thought Daniel was the one holding me back. I thought his quiet, steady life was a cage I needed to break free from. But he wasn't the cage. He was the foundation. He was the home I could always return to after a long day of pretending to be someone important. I broke that foundation, and now I'm just floating. I don't know what happens next. I know there are papers to sign, assets to divide, a life to formally dismantle. Part of me, a small, foolish part, still hopes he'll call, that he'll say he can forgive me. But the bigger part of me, the part that is finally, brutally honest, knows that he won't. And he shouldn't. He deserves better than an echo, better than a ghost in a life he tried so hard to build. And I have to live with that. I have to live in this beautiful, successful, empty world I created. The price of my new life was my old one. And I'm only just now beginning to understand what a terrible bargain I made.